What's up? What's up? What's going on out there, fam? It is the homie, Mainman Mademan, just dropping through for a couple quick minutes to chop up some boxing. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, some people slide on through. If not, salute to everyone that catches this live. Salute to everybody that catches this on the playback. This is a spontaneous, just kind of pop in live stream like we like to do from time to time. But hopefully, we'll get our point across, man. Let's get right to it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of little things. First off, my bad on last night's We Talking Boxing, y'all. The mic kind of got a little messed up towards the middle of the program, man. My bad. I did that episode on location yesterday. I was over some family house, so I had to rely on their Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? My bad, but the show had to go on. You know what I mean? So we'll just kind of recap some of those points from We Talking Boxing, that and along with everything else you see in the title. You know what I mean? So let's get right on to it. I want to start off with this one right here, man. And I want to pick back up on this one from yesterday, man, about Canelo Alvarez. I want to talk about Canelo Alvarez. Everybody like, yo, Canelo Alvarez is number one pound for pound over Terence Crawford. Cool. That's your preference. That's your preference. The pound for pound list is subjective. Ain't nothing, factual about it. Ain't nobody, going by it and saying that your list is better than the next list. That's your preference. Whatever. I have Terence Crawford as my number one pound for pound fighter. Now, I got a problem with this mandatory because I don't know if y'all heard me last night, but this Avni Yildrum pick is the worst mandatory known to mandatories. You know what I mean? Like Canelo's supposed to be number one pound for pound, have all of this pull with the WBC, all of this pull. But this is the worst mandatory of mandatories. You got Avni Yildrum coming off of a loss and off of a investigation in which the investigation found no wrongdoing was done by Avni Yildrum. Went over to Germany, you got muscular inflammation therapy, and they gave you something, and you told them it, and they bought your story, which is fine. That happens in boxing, right? No big deal. But then after that, they still punish him. They say, oh, yeah, well, you can still fight, but we're going to give you a fine. You're going to have to take this. We're going to keep you continue drug testing. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You got to jump through all of these loops, even though you did nothing wrong, right? You're coming off a loss. You're coming off a PED investigation. Now, originally, he was going to be David Benavidez's mandatory. If David Benavidez would have never lost his belt, right? On the scales. So that means that Avni Yildrum lost to Anthony Durrell, right, in a split decision. Anthony Durrell went on to face David Benavidez and lost the belt to David Benavidez. And then David Benavidez would have had to fight Avni Yildrum. How much sense does that make? You lost to Durrell, and instead of getting kicked down the rankings, you go right back and you were going to be the mandatory for the title again. And so Benavidez loses the belt, and Canelo now is the guy basically inheriting that belt because he's the franchise champion. This is the worst mandatory of mandatories. The worst I've ever heard. It don't get no bad than that. It don't get no worse than that. Usually in a mandatory situation, we got an up-and-comer. We got somebody going through the ranks, work their way up through the ranks. They might have got one loss. They shoot most cases undefeated. Something like that. Not no dude coming off of a PED investigation, a loss. It don't make no sense. And it's just Chris Eustank's leftovers. None of this stuff is making any, but y'all call him number one pound for pound. But he's number one pound for pound fighting this kind of mandatory. Say what you want about Kalvalowskis. Say what you want. The man was undefeated. You know what I mean? Man had a good amateur career. Coming off of a tough fight with Ray Robinson. Say what you want. That's not Avni Yildrum. That is the worst mandatory that I have ever seen. In the WBC, it's sad. And they should have made David Benavidez the mandatory. Everybody know that. He lost his belt on the scales. He should have got next. But instead, they put Avni Yildrum right there. The WBC and their mandatories ain't been making sense to nobody. One last recap. The Devin Haney situation. Look at that. Janky. Now Devin Haney got two mandatories. All just to keep him occupied while Ryan Garcia go to do whatever he wants to do. Because technically, Devin, they don't want you holding that title. You know that. They want that title around Ryan Garcia's waist. If you decide not to fight any one of your two mandatories, little Devin, they're going to strip you with the quickness. With the quickness. See, it ain't about the Ryan Garcia and Luke Campbell fight, mandatory. That's the second one, right? It ain't about that one. It's about the first one, the Javier Fortuna one. Why the hell all of a sudden now the Javier Fortuna mandatory is pressing so hard? Let's keep in mind how this went down. Javier Fortuna been the mandatory. This ain't nothing new under the sun. Remember, he was going to fight Luke Campbell for that vacant belt that Devin Haney, they took off Devin Haney when he was going to go get shoulder surgery. Now, when Devin Haney returned, instead of them saying, Devin Haney, you got to go ahead and face Javier Fortuna immediately, and Devin Haney put in an order to the WBC to fight Javier Fortuna immediately. But they didn't do that. They were going to allow Javier Fortuna to go face Luke Campbell. And then when that fell apart due to coronavirus, they were going to allow Javier Fortuna to go face Jorge Linares. So how is he the mandatory when that's two opponents right there that was going to come before Devin? And remember, Jorge Linares didn't work out, right? And so Javier Fortuna was left with no opponent. He was originally going to fight 1 week prior to Devin Haney versus Gamboa. And that's going through two opponents. Remember, the Golden Boy card kind of fell apart. They gave him some little low-level fight. But why couldn't they get him Devin Haney? And why was Devin Haney allowed to go fight Yorgos Gamboa? Instead of getting Javier Fortuna out the way. And now you're in a situation where nobody said anything. The WBC was quiet. Eddie Hearn was quiet. Everybody was quiet. No one mentioned Javier Fortuna until now. Now, oh, you forgot something, little Devin. Oh, yeah, all that fighting you was doing when you beat up on Gamboa and the other guy, that's cool. But don't forget about Javier Fortuna, right when he's on Ryan Garcia's heels. How you going to have a WBC ordered fight, Ryan Garcia, the winner of Garcia Campbell fights Devin Haney, and then turn around and say, oh, don't forget about this mandatory first. Man, that was pulling a rug under that kid's feet. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. And that mandatory, because we don't know when that fight may happen. Ryan Garcia fights next week. Well, this weekend, right? He fights this weekend. Well, who knows when the Javier Fortuna and Devin Haney fight going to happen? It could happen February, March. This is effectively giving Ryan Garcia more than enough time to say, I want to go fight Tank Davis. No, I want to go fight Teofimo Lopez. No, I want to go fight that guy. But I ain't going to fight Devin Haney. Eddie Hearn, you running around in all of these quotes. Yeah. You got to fight Devin Haney. He got to fight Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia's got to fight. You ain't even mentioning Javier Fortuna. Y'all just like Javier Fortuna ain't even right there. You ain't telling that kid the truth. The truth is, you can't fight nobody right now, Devin, except Javier Fortuna, or you risk being stripped. And ain't no telling when that fight gonna get made. By that time, Ryan Garcia is gonna be able to do whatever the hell he want. That's what the WBC. That's how they moving nowadays. Canelo can fight losing PED cheats, and and Devin Haney is getting stalled. After being smacked in the face by the WBC with a franchise championship. Can't even fight the actual champion because he's protected. Devin, why does Devin Haney still hold the WBC title? I would have dropped that title like a bad habit. Y'all can have it. Y'all ain't gonna give me no shot anyway. I'm just paying sanctioning fees. These fights that I'm getting, I can get on my goddamn own. I don't need y'all. I don't need to be cutting y'all in for what? I might go to 140. Y'all ain't helping me out. Y'all ain't throwing mandatory after mandatory in front of me. And on top of that, y'all giving me a franchise champion who I can't fight. And he got no mandatories. Foul. Strictly foul. Strictly foul. Let me see what some of y'all coming on through. Salute to the family sliding through for the homie. Muhammad Ali, what's up with you, man? What's up? Happy holidays, family. Happy holidays. Is this another ridiculous ploy by the WBC to cater to their fighters? I'm sick and tired of it. Killing the state of boxing. That's exactly what this is, Muhammad Ali. Rules being changed on the fly. And another rule we need to watch out for. One more. I heard Mauricio Suleiman the other day. Well, we're going to go back and evaluate Canelo's franchise status at 160. Here's the thing, and I'm going to flip if they do this. You know? I'm going to flip. If they, after Canelo beats Avni Yildrum, right, in February, if they make Canelo Alvarez the franchise champion to protect him from David Benavidez. I bet not hear nobody talking about no #1 pound for pound. We don't be doing protection programs around this joint. I bet not be hearing nobody talking about no #1 pound for pound. If the WBC franchise Canelo at 168 and protect him from David Benavidez, I see it coming. I see it coming. I don't know about y'all. Bruce, what's up, family? Bruce Goes. Happy holidays to the fam. Salute to your man. Salute to Bruce Goes and all the support your show, man. Much love to you. Jaquavius, what's up, man? What's up? Salute, family. Salute to you, man. Salute. You already know. You already know, man. You know how we do. You know how we do. They trying hard to protect Teofimo and Ryan Garcia. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's starting to get to a point where it's really looking bad on how the avoidance of Devin Haney is sickening. But I got to say this. Devin Haney, welcome to Gary Russell Jr.'s world. The guy that you was clowning on a few months ago, the one that you said and you ain't been fighting and who this and who you this and who that, Devin Haney, welcome to Gary Russell Jr.'s world. Where you see yourself as an extremely talented fighter and you want the greatest opportunities in front of you, but no one wants to give you that chance because they see you as a threat. Welcome to Gary Russell Jr.'s world. Karma is something, ain't it? Karma is something. We're going to run you out of business. We're going to protect you. We're going to be the youngest promoters in boxing. We ain't giving you no shot. Making fun of Gary Russell Jr. Welcome to his world. Welcome to his world. Let's go to something else, y'all. Let's talk about something else. This right here is very concerning. Now, look here, fam. This is what's funny. Why everybody's still talking that 60-40 trash? Check this out. This is funny to me. The WBO mandatory situation for Terence Crawford. I want people to keep in mind this one thing. When people are running around here still talking the 60-40 jazz. There's 3 people in the top 3 in the WBO. Number 1, Showtime Shawn Porter. Number 2, Virgil Ortiz Jr. Number 3, Mikey Garcia. Budge Mando is coming up. It should be one of these 3. If it's not one of these 3, then all 3 ducked him. All 3 ducked him. Shawn Porter, number 1. They're going to come to you first. You ain't want to put the paperwork in, Shawn. Ain't nobody seen no WBO applications floating around this joint. They're going to call you first, Shawn. What you going to tell them? I don't even want to fight, man. I can't do with that 75-25 split. I don't want to fight. I holler at you. Click. They're going to call up Virgil Ortiz, young Virgil. We ain't heard about you doing nothing. What's up, man? Oh, well, you know, I've been talking to Oscar, and he says he's going to find me a fight on DAZN. I'm going to lead DAZN around the world. I can't fight. Click. Mikey Garcia, you had a lot to say over the years. How about challenging Bud Crawford for his WBO man? Well, you know, I got fighters. I'm promoting fighters. I'm over here on DAZN. Me and Bob Arum, we don't get along. We can't do business. I don't want to fight him either. Click. That's going to be 3 people that may get out the way of Terence Crawford, but he ducking. This is a mandatory, people. Champion can't duck a Mando. The Mandos can duck the champion. And in this case right here, you got 3 top name welterweights, and any one of them can get it. So what they going to do? Or y'all going to keep running around here talking to 60-40 when smoke is right there. All they got to do is raise your hand if you're sure. That's all you got to do. You ain't got to do nothing. So this is what killing me about the Bud detractors that's running down the 60-40 yellow brick road. My deal is, what about this? What is Shawn going to do? What is Virgil Ortiz going to do? What is Mikey Garcia going to do? That's smoke, and more smoke. That's enough to win every respect of every boxing fan in boxing. If Bud can run through these dudes, right? So all they got to do is say they want the damn fight. That's all they got to do. This ain't a Bob Arum thing. Oh, man, it's Bob Arum. This ain't a Bob Arum thing. This is a sanctioned body that can order a fight. This ain't a Bob Arum thing. Miss me with the money excuses. Miss me with the financials. These dudes should have removed themselves, just like Danny Garcia did. They should have removed themselves if they didn't want to be there. That's all. Now, the date is coming when someone got to get called. The last one was December of last year. Aegis Kalvalowskis. Or was it November, December? Somewhere around there. Well, we're a year later. We're waiting for this call. So, to my Errol Spence Nation out there, what is he going? How is Bud ducking anyone? When you got 3 people, all they got to do is put a piece of paper in. Virgil Ortiz, bro, you ain't got no name out here, man. Nobody know you like that, champ. Texas know you. Nobody don't know you. Put the paperwork in. See what the WBO tell you. Sean, you got no belt, no prospects. You are hoping on a star and wishing on a star with the WBC to get Errol Spence Jr. back. Put the paperwork in, man. You need a stamp? You need an envelope? What you need? Put the damn paperwork in. We got nothing. We got nothing. We got nothing. So I'm just saying, fam, y'all can miss me with this Bud ducking stuff. This ain't making no more sense to no one. If y'all want to keep doing the 60-40 while him and Earl ain't happening, and let me stop briefly on this 60-40. I want to say this on that 60-40. I thought I threw this 60-40 talk away, but I'm going to say this. Have anybody seen anything? What I mean by how real is this 60-40 for real? I never really drilled down on it because I just thought it was just stupid talk. But for real, how real is this 60-40? Because Bomac and them say, yo, they got no kind of paperwork. Team Crawford say they not got nothing in the mail. Is it just interview talk? Because I remember Tim Smith, the suit of PBC, the suit, not Earl. I'm talking about the bosses. The suit said the reason that we ain't fighting Terence Crawford is because he got to raise his star power. He got to get more popular. He got to become more known. That's the reason that the suit said it. It ain't had nothing to do with no 60-40. So I'm wondering if the bluff is called, what will happen. Now, of course, Bud cannot come out today and say, yo, I would accept 40. You cannot do that. That's not how things work in negotiations. When you say that, they're going to hold you to it, to the last day. You cannot come out early ahead of negotiations when you know ain't nothing happening, when you know ain't nothing moving and say, yes, I will accept it. Just to play a stupid public game. No, because they're going to hold you to that. And you'll never be let go from that. They're going to say, remember, on December 28th, bruh, at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, you said you would accept 40%. So here's the paper. But my deal is, why don't they just send it and see what happens? Bud might sign it. Bob might convince him to sign it. You never know. It's all talk. You know what I'm saying? That's the point I'm going to. It's all talk. They all know it's all talk. You know what I mean? And I seen what Timothy Bradley had to say. Let me read Timothy Bradley's quote. I seen what Timothy Bradley had to say about Earl and Canelo. And Timothy Bradley says, hold on, I just was reading that right here. I found this one to be very funny. Timothy Bradley says on ESPN, and I quote, it's not going to happen. I don't see it happening. That's a money thing for Spence. I think Spence is at a point now, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he just wants to get the money and then leave the game. That's it, end quote. Now, I disagree with Tim Bradley. I don't think that's what Errol Spence Jr. wants to do. I think that all Errol Spence Jr. is doing is exactly what Keith Thurman did. And that is, and I'll get to y'all comments in 1 second, and that is, give me the 2 top fights I can get, and now I want to get the big money fight like he got with Manny Pacquiao. Where Earl got his 2, he got Danny, he got Sean, and he may want the big one in Canelo. Well, some may say, well, Mainman, hold on now, don't forget about Mikey. He got Mikey, so he got his big money fight out the way, some may say. But, I mean, if he can get the Canelo fight and it's a big bag of money attached, how can anybody tell him not to do it? I'm saying forget about it because you can be bigger. You don't need Canelo, bro. You and Bud can take this fight to Africa and make this thing a worldwide affair all day. Why am I wrong on that? And be bigger than Canelo. Oh, yes. We could do a Don King style, Rumble in the Jungle, Thriller in Manila. You and Earl could take this to some oppressed country that got a lot of money that wants an image makeover and take over the world. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about this fight. I don't think you need Canelo. I think Canelo is eventually going to come begging you, not him trying to stand you up and make you look bad. I don't think you need Canelo. And so when I hear Tim Bradley say he's going to go after the money fight, so what? This is prize fighting, bro. You would do it if you could too. Ain't that's the reason you went after the Pacquiao fight? Backflip Bradley? Isn't that the reason that Backflip Bradley, the backflip heard around the world? That was the greatest backflip that I have ever seen. He should have won the Olympics that year with the backflip that he did in the Manny Pacquiao fight. Backflip Bradley. You went after the Manny Pacquiao fight. 2 or 3 of them shits. You know what I'm saying? So don't blame him for trying to go after the money if it exists. And on top of that, Backflip Bradley, you have no grounding, no whatsoever to mention the names Errol or Spence because you, sir, got out of the way. Matter of fact, last I checked, you retired on that man. So you got nothing to say, champ. I understand you pro Terence Crawford. I think you are. Because I can go back 2-3 interviews and remember you and Andre Ward having a real tough debate about who is turn. You yelling, who is he gonna fight, Dre? Who is he gonna fight? You were anti-Crawford then. I'm confused about you, brother. I'm very confused about you. 1 minute you're rooting for Terence, the next minute you're not rooting for Terence. Are you taking orders from a higher power named Bob Arum and telling you how to move and who to talk to and when to talk? Because 1 minute you want anti-Crawford, now you're pro-Crawford. Now it's who you're gonna fight. Now it's Errol Spence is going for the money fight and all this. You got out of the way of Errol Spence, bro. You got no standing. Don't mention that man's name. What you mentioning his name for? I remember the interview when they say, "Yo, hey Tim, you know you might gotta fight Errol Spence Jr. next." This is Timothy Bradley. Oh, that's what they said. Oh, okay. They told y'all that. Oh, okay, okay. All along, he knew in the back of his mind, ain't gonna happen, Cap. Ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna happen. Let me go to some of y'all comments. Let's get through some of these joints. Tone Money, what's up, fam? What's up with you, man? Why nobody talking about Spence not fighting top 4 welterweights? Bud, Pacquiao, Thurman, and Ugas. That's funny you say that, bro, because Thurman is on his line. Thurman is on his line. I'm looking at Thurman's last 4 or 5 interviews, and all of them are the exact same. He ain't hesitant or running away from Errol Spence at all. My thing is this, and we're going to talk about this, Tone Money. If you don't want to fight Bud, fine. You got to fight Keith. Keith on your side. Keith got no polished shit, no polished tricks. You and Keith on PBC, you on PBC, you walking in Keith's shadow. I'm just saying, though. He is walking in Keith's shadow, whether y'all believe it or not. Whether Spence Nation like to say it or not. That's why they hate Keith so much. That's why they want us to forget about Keith. Because at the end of the day, and until Errol get that big breakout win, he's doing exactly what Keith did. You know what I mean? So he should fight Keith. Keith acting like he want that smoke now. Keith money might be running low. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is Keith is acting like he want that smoke. And I think Errol might need to pay close attention to that. You know what I mean? Sir Kim, what's up, family? What's up with you, man? Salute to the wrenches. Salute to the chat. And smash the like button all day. Smash that like button for the family, man. We doing this on the midday. And happy holidays to everybody. Everybody, you know? Ortiz Jr. is going to take it. I hope so. I hope so. He had a lot to say, and he's right there in the number 2 spot. If Sean Porter effectively gets out the way, he called up next. Technically, if Virgil want to take the initiative, he can call the WBO right now. Maybe the WBO will say, you know what? We ain't got a call from nobody. You're the first person that called us. You know what? We putting you up first. I'd love to see that. Virgil got a lot to say, so we'll see. We'll see. Tone Money, Ortiz going to get his career ended. That young boy, man, I don't know if Golden Boy got a lot riding on Virgil Ortiz. They got a lot right. That's something else we talked about last night. I don't know if it came across clear. Virgil Ortiz, Oscar De La Hoya has a lot riding on that kid. It's only going to be a matter of time before Eddie Reynoso and Canelo Alvarez pluck off Ryan Garcia. I mean, let's keep it 100. How Eddie Reynoso said he's going into the promotional game. Canelo Alvarez is pushing Eddie Reynoso into the promotional game. Who do you think they're going to grab first? You see everyone is plucking Oscar's bones. Look at his fighters, man. You got Canelo Alvarez now working with Eddie Hearn right there in that man's face. You know what I mean? Canelo talking about he signed a 2-fight deal with DAZN to fight Eddie's fighters. He's paying. Eddie is getting Canelo checks for everybody. They plucked him. Look at Jaime Munguia. Jaime Munguia, Oscar is depending on Jaime Munguia, Virgil Ortiz, and Ryan Garcia. Ryan gonna get plucked off. It's gonna come down to Virgil and Jaime. That's why he's pushing Jaime Munguia into the Gennady Golovkin fight on Cinco de Mayo. And Virgil Ortiz, well, he's the young budding star. Does he want to get that young budding star wrecked so early before he has a chance to take over the world? You feel me? I mean, it's Virgil Ortiz, who may be the youngest up-and-coming prospect still left on DAZN. Does Oscar want to wreck that future and throw him in a fight with Bud? Or he want to take the gamble? Maybe he beats Bud. Virgil Sharp. Maybe he beats Bud and becomes a superstar overnight. It's a gamble. But if Oscar loses that gamble, he loses big. So the question is, how does the promoter feel about that? Mike, what's up, fam? Bam, what's up with you, man? If he put the paperwork in, he only gonna get $1 million, the minimum. So negotiate, and he's well accomplished at 147. And don't forget it. Okay, so you're saying no. Putting the paperwork in just makes him the mandatory. Keep in mind, fam, because a lot of people don't put this out there. There is no mandatory right now. No one's been named the mandatory. Porter's still in the number one position. The WBO is yet to say that he is exactly the mandatory. I haven't seen that yet. I've heard people say it, but I haven't seen it officially. So putting in the paperwork just says, yo, I want to become the mandatory and make the fight happen. He's yet to do that. Now, my thing is, if they choose him to be the mandatory, right, they're going to give him a bad deal no matter what. And if he doesn't like the deal, then guess what? PBC can win the purse bid and pay him more money. Just like Bob said. Well, guess what? I'm open for Terence to go over to PBC to fight Showtime Sean Porter. So all Al got to do is find one of his little flunky promoters and say, here, take this money and put this money up for Sean Porter. Simple. And we win the purse bid, and we don't have to give him a 75-25 split. We can give him anything we want. Well, technically, no, it's still a 75-25 split, but they can raise the number to give him more money. Either way you cut it, it can be a 75-20. That's the WBO rules. Now, the promoters can reach an agreement and say, you know what, let's give him 30. Let's give him 35 because it's Showtime Sean Porter. I mean, he is a great... They can do that, but ain't nothing forcing them to do that. Now, here's the flip side. Why ain't Sean Porter going for the legacy of it? Why ain't we thinking about him beating Bud and what's on the other side of that rainbow? Because there is a bright side on the other side of that rainbow, also by doing it the old-fashioned way and just beating Bud Crawford. And guess what you are, Sean? You the man. You beat the number one pound-for-pound fighter in boxing. You're going to be celebrated in every corner of the boxing community. You can also go that route too now. That's always a possibility. Just saying. So if you don't like it, the low money, let Al Heyman in and win it and pay him more money. Simple. Either way, if he gets out the way, it's a duck. We ain't never brought up purse splits on mandatories as a reason to get out the way before, and we ain't going to start today. It's a duck. You know what I'm saying? It's a duck. If Porter puts the mandatory in, that's only $1 million for Sean. So what? What's on the other side of the rainbow? What's on the other side? And I'd say this. It might be $1 million. Well, I don't think they'll do that on pay-per-view. They're not going to do that on pay-per-view. What you think they would, but then again, they probably wouldn't. If they did it on pay-per-view, he'll get more than that. You know what I'm saying? But it don't matter. What else is Sean going to do? He's just going to sit around and wait for an Errol Spence Jr. rematch, and we okay with that. No. Not going to do that. Sean need to go take that chance, man. Sean had all of this mouth to say all of this time. Take the chance. Get a world title. Beat the number one pound-for-pound fighter. You will be considered the man. Your next payday will be through the roof. Nobody don't want to do it the old-fashioned way no more. Nobody don't want to do it that way no more. You know what I mean? He told Bud to his face, is that real enough? And Bud said, he told Bud to his face, is that real enough? And Bud said, no. I don't know what you're saying, fam. What did he tell Bud to his face? You know what I'm saying? Anything he told Bud to his face is all smoke and mirrors, clearly, because we ain't got no fight by now. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no fight. Oh, you talking about Keith? You talking about Keith? Oh, I see. If Earl really wanted to fight and Bud easy work, 50-50 should be easy for the biggest fight of his career. Absolutely. I just think that they're playing the stall game right now. At the end of the day, I've already reached a conclusion technically on this whole Bud and Errol Spence thing. And my conclusion is ain't nothing going to happen until October 2021. Simple. Everything that you see right now are stall tactics, pushing. My only real concern is that small window in October. If that's small, will they drop the ball then is the question. When Bud's contract is up with Bob Arum in Top Rank, I don't know if Bob Arum reached back in to bring Bud back. But let's just say that Bob says, I can't no more. I lost too much money. I'm letting you go. And he goes to PBC, right? Well, first off, that's the opportunity right there. We don't know how PBC will carry Bud. We don't know if they give him Errol Spence right off the jump. We don't know if they say, well, you know what? You got a lot of other guys you can fight and raise your popularity and make you more popular. You can fight Danny. You can fight Sean. We don't know how they're going to carry Bud if he was decided to walk over there. Bud might say, I want to do a fight-by-fight deal, which most of us would hopefully, you know, that he would do. A fight-by-fight deal. Something like that. But we don't know. We don't know. And then here's my deal. And Bud's, that's the small window that we're going to have to decide whether or not we're going to go forward and it's going to happen right away, or we're going to kick the can down the road some more. And they waiting on that window. They know that that's the only chance that they got of bringing that fight in-house. That's the only chance that they got, that one shot right there before someone snatch Bud up. Maybe DAZN or Eddie or somebody like that. Or Bob brings them back. But they got that one shot. And I think they're depending everything on that one shot. I think they're going to wait it out to October 21. They're going to keep Errol busy. I don't know what Terence is going to do. Hopefully it's mandatory step up. But they're going to keep each other busy until October. And that's why you see Canelo. That's why you see him saying Manny Pacquiao. That's why you see him saying Ugas. That's why you see him saying, oh, a rematch report ain't that bad. Yeah, you know what I mean? My thing is, if you're going to waste time, if you're going to sit over there and just run through those dudes, fight Keith Thurman. Or should I say Keith Thurman need to fight you? Because I ain't 2 cents off Keith Thurman either. But one way or another, it should happen like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. If Bud and Sean are really friends, wouldn't he help him get paid? Facts. They ain't friends, bro. I told you what it is, man. They didn't want to tell the truth about each other to the public. And that friends crap was just what they were hiding behind. They didn't want to really tell the truth. And the truth is that they're both in the same situation. Neither one of them are big sellers. And neither one of them side has an appetite for bringing a non-seller to their side. That's just the facts of the matter. They don't want to put that on each other. They don't want to run out here and say, well, you know, Sean Porter, you can't sell, bro. No one wants to buy your fights. And, you know, and Sean Porter don't want to say the same thing about Crawford. They know it. But at the end of the day, they know why this thing is hard to get made, because each other's side doesn't believe in those fighters. Bob doesn't believe in paying a bunch of money for Porter, and PBC right now doesn't believe in paying a bunch of money for Bud. And they don't want to say that to the public. So they'll just say we friends. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it works, bro. You don't want to trash each other's brand. You know what I mean? You don't want to make each other look bad in the public. Errol Spence felt comfortable to run around and say that Sean couldn't fill a family dinner. That hurt Sean more than anything, because his drawing power is all he got. You know, especially when you ain't got no belt. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Lions Truth says, yo, lead by example. Mikey and Porter both got 50-50, so Bud gotta have 50-50. Porter didn't get 50-50. I don't know why y'all keep saying that, man. Porter didn't get, y'all going by the base he made on the purse. No, when you go back to the pay-per-view split, you'll see that Earl got 60% of that pay-per-view revenue split, and Porter got 40%. You know what I mean? When they be saying 60-40, that's what they talking about, total of everything. Not just the, what do they call it? The guaranteed money. I think y'all going off the guaranteed money, and y'all see that Earl and Sean both had the same amounts of guaranteed money, and y'all think it's 50-50. No, look at the pay-per-view split, and Earl got the lion's share. That's the way it works. You know what I'm saying? But either way, now Mikey did get total 50-50. Mikey got total 50-50, and I'm in the firm camp that Bud Crawford should definitely get 50-50. You mix with his accomplishments, but the fact that he's been fighting on regular TV, pulling in millions of viewers every time he fights. I think he has a case. You know what I'm saying? I think he got a case. Keith ran away from Kell Brook back in the day. Remember, he didn't want that smoke. Nobody wanted to get that belt, but Super Earl. yeah, and he felt real good to get it right after the Gennady Golovkin fight. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, with Keith's situation in Kell Brook, no, back then Danny Garcia came up to the weight class, and he got that WBC strap, and Danny Garcia seemed to be the more appealing opposition than Kell Brook, who was over in the UK and was barely known here in America. That was the move that Keith Thurman decided to make. He says, I'll go after Danny Garcia, the more popular guy coming up from 140, WBC champion, as opposed to IBF champion Kell Brook. You want to say from a skill set, was Kell dangerous? Absolutely. I give Kell a hell of a chance in that fight with Keith Thurman. A heck of a chance. He might would have got him. I don't know at that time. You know what I mean? But, I mean, Keith made a decision like Earl is making a decision. I'm looking for the bigger, more money type fight. That's what they all do when they get on top. The only difference is that Spence Nation, y'all don't like to hold Earl accountable for the bull crap. But we do. You know what I mean? But that's all. That's it. When Keith was doing it, I'm right here going in on Keith. Y'all sit back and let Earl do anything he wants, and it's all good. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. Come holler at me. L-File player in the building. What's up, man? Man, Steve's what it is, fam. It seems like you are the only channel on the right side of Bud and Spence topic, because we know what it is, bro. A lot of channels right now, and trust and believe, they know what it is too. They know what, but they know how to, it's the media game. I'm going to say that. I'm just going to sum it up like that. It's the media game. Most people know. They just keeping the carrot in front of the horse, keeping people wondering, what, guessing, clicking. You know what I'm saying? We know this. It's clear as day. Clear as day, fam. Clear as day. You know what I mean? Salute to you, family. Salute to you. Bruce, okay, y'all chopping it up. I don't get into the middle of that. And Live, what's up, man? Sean ain't going to take that chance because he know that Bud is going to wash his ass all day. And there will be no more Sean Porter. And most importantly, and now, let's just call this honest. Let's be honest about it. If you are Sean Porter and you facing this is just the two options that are in front of him. He went down to the WBC. He talked with Mauricio Suleiman. He got made the WBC silver champion. He's talking like he is en route to becoming the WBC mandatory. He said that he talked with the bosses. He talked with PBC. And they told him that he will get the winner of Danny and Errol. And ain't no one changed their minds. Those are Sean Porter's words. Now, he's probably looking at the Errol Spence situation. And like he recently said on his podcast, don't mess my money up. He told his homeboy, don't say Errol in terms because you're going to mess my money up. He's looking at that the Errol Spence Jr. is a bigger financial opportunity. It's a big name fight as opposed to fighting Terence Crawford. Yeah, I might be his mandatory. Yeah, he may be number one pound for pound, but let's call it the way it is. Being number one pound for pound sometimes don't always pay the bills. And in Sean's case, where, you know, at this point, he's held belts, he's held titles, he's seen the ups and downs of boxing, the ebb and flows. It can be argued if he's maybe in his twilight years. I don't know. I'm just saying that maybe he's looking at the check route. You know what I mean? He's looking at the check route and he's looking at the bigger fight with Errol Spence. And it's going to be hard for Terence Crawford and his side to lure Sean Porter, knowing that he still has the option of an Errol Spence Jr. fight. That is a tough thing to, especially when you know you're cut at 75-25, especially when you know you got to go to the other man's network. You know what I mean? Somewhere that you don't call home. You know what I mean? So you won't get biased coverage all against you. That's Sean Porter. That's what he's thinking about. But here's my deal. Screw all that. I get it. That's the tough thing to have in front of you. That's a tough thing. But I believe that the payoff will be bigger of beating Terence Crawford than losing again to Errol Spence Jr. Because I see you getting I see Sean getting his ass whooped worse. I see Sean getting an ass whooping worse than the first fight. The timing is going to be downloaded at this point. He's going to know what to expect. I think he gets stopped the next time around. He runs into another check left hook like he ran into from Errol. Same thing. I think he gets stopped the second. And I think Bud stops him too, but I think he gets stopped the second time around. Bro, I'm just saying that it's more brighter on the other side of if you can maybe beat Terence Crawford, a guy that came up from 140, that's going to have to deal with your pressure. You got a better chance there than fighting a bigger, stronger Errol Spence Jr., who got something to prove, who's linking back up with Blu-ray. Why lose? Why we all think you're gonna lose, bro? Why go in there and lose to Errol and take your little money and run off when you can go after Bud and may get that million, but be perceived as a top pound for pound fighter, and your price range will go through the roof. Your stock rises, your upside climbs. You know what I mean? So I understand Sean Porter's situation. I mean, looking at that Spence fight, the man is fighting for the Dallas Cowboys. You know what I mean? That's our big check. It's why you know it's going to be a pay-per-view. You know what y'all did before on pay-per-view. Sean Porter will run around and say, "Oh, I beat him. I was robbed. Fans, he'll convince a small segment of Spence haters. The Spence haters will eat it up like Scooby snacks. And I don't believe Sean Porter when he told out he was robbed. He lost that fight. Easy work. You know what I'm saying? So I understand Sean Porter's position, but I'm like, go for the greatness. I'm a boxing fan. I ain't checking your pockets. I want to see you fight the fight that matters. You know what I mean? Real spill. Lawrence says, yo, man, they should all fight each other. Canelo, Spence, Crawford, all of them. That's why I spend my money on UFC nowadays. At least they fight each other in UFC from what I hear. I'm not a UFC fan like that, but I hear they fight each other, man. but we need to keep Dana away from boxing. Facts. You know what I'm saying? The welterweight division, historically the glamour division. Facts, Bruce, is hot right now. Time for the best to fight the best. Makes sense for everybody in boxing. Absolutely. Including Danny Garcia if he hangs around. If Danny Garcia hangs around, I mean, look, I'm not clamoring for a Danny Garcia versus Crawford fight no more, but I still would love to see Danny Garcia versus a Boots Ennis. I still would like to see Danny Garcia versus a Virgil Ortiz or maybe even a Mikey Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are still good fights at the end of the day. And even though Danny, his blueprint is well out there, everyone knows how to beat Danny Garcia. It ain't that hard to tell. But at the end of the day, he still can hang around. Welterweights is still on fire. On fire. You know what I'm saying? What up, Mike? That's hypocritical talk. That's the only thing we saying. Bud got to do to get the Spence fight, and you rejecting it. But it is okay for Porter to go that route. See, Porter ain't the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in boxing, Mike. Porter is not a former lineal champion, though, bro. Porter is not fighting on ESPN. Bud got way more going for him than Porter. Bud don't have to do what Porter has to do to get a fight. No. It don't work like that. No. Porter's in a totally different situation. Porter's lost everything. He's not an attractive fight right now for a lot of people. For what? He's not a draw. You got no belt. Why is that okay for Bud? You know what I mean? No. He needs to go to Bud, bro. Bud ain't got to go to no Porter, and Bud ain't really got to run begging Spence. He's in a prestigious position. As for Sean Porter, well, he in the basement right now. He ain't in a prestigious position no more. That's what I'm saying. So he got to do a little extra to get that fight. You know what I mean? Salute to my man Mike, man. Salute to my man Mike. Man, he told Bud 60-40. Yeah, he can say all he want. He can say it all. I just want him to send some paper. I think stop telling him. And I would love to hear Crawford's camp say, you know what, we received something in the mail this morning from Errol Spence and from PBC, and they sent us the 60-40 offer. We might got to sit back and think about it now. We got it on paper. I love to hear them say that. I would love to hear somebody from Team Crawford say they was about their word. It wasn't just talk. Now we got the offer right here in front of us. We got some things to think about because it's real talk. I guarantee you'll get a reaction like that. Or a counter offer. Now we're talking. Now things are moving. But at this point, all we doing is just, you know what I mean? Just stalling. Ain't nothing getting sent. If you want 60-40, send a piece of paper over and see what happens. Just see what happens. What you got to lose? They're gonna tell you no. They're telling you no now. What you got to lose? Send some paper. You know what I'm saying? Send some. The WBO need to send some paper, and PBC need to send some paper. And let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody sending nothing. Y'all ain't peeping that. It's all this. All a bunch of this going on. All this quotes everywhere. Everybody got quotes. I can do 10 videos right now based on quotes, what everyone's saying. I can do 10 videos, easy work right now. What Virgil said, what Sean said, what Earl said, what Keith said, what they all said. But I don't see nothing getting sent from nobody. But I do see Terence Crawford popping up at fights. Facts. Facts, Mike. I do see Terence Crawford popping up at fights. Like, he trying to mix. And I do see Terence Crawford with $1 million penalty on his promoter. Facts to those who don't know. Facts. These are facts that Mainman talking about. $1 million penalty on his promoter for not offering Errol Spence the fight. I see somebody trying to get something done. I see somebody trying to do some things. I see one side telling this promoter to get the job done. I see one side trying to do things. I see Terence doing face-to-faces with Earl, popping up at his fights. I see somebody trying. But I need to see a little bit more. You know what I mean? I need to see a little bit more. For somebody who don't want to fight, that's a hell of a lot. I mean, how do you sit into a meeting? How do you sit in a meeting and tell your promoter, yo, bro, in that contract we working out, I'm putting a penalty on you, dog, if you don't give me that big fight. How do you tell that to Bob Arum to his face? Bob Arum's face had to go rosy red. He probably turned blood red when he seen that. Like, what? I have never had nothing like this ever before. Ever. I have promoted Muhammad Ali, and he didn't do nothing like this. He got a penalty on his promoter for not offering the fight. Woo! I have never heard that, bro. And I've been covering the sport for a while. You know what I'm saying? Real spill, man. Been covering the sport for a while and they've never heard that. But y'all keep being convinced that the man don't want to fight. Uh-oh, we got the man up in this joint. What's up, blood? What's up to the OG? Salute to your retro boxing and documentaries, man. Them documentaries are all that, man. All that, family. Salute to you, man. Salute to what you got going on the other side, man. Loving it, loving it, loving it, man. That's my OG right there, man. That is the man, man. That is the man. Salute to you and happy holidays to you, blood. Happy holidays to you, man. Yeah, man. So Mike says, yo, man, hell no, once again, if Porter really thought that he beat Earl, he would immediately want that smoke. He's still in recovery. That's why he's turning to Bud Light. When did he turn to Bud? I hear him. See, Mike, we've been talking for months. We've been talking for years. You know what I mean? We've been talking. I got videos galore. You know it. You know what I mean? Everybody know it. We've been talking. Everybody got videos. We've been talking. I want to see some rubber meeting the road around this joint. I want to see some rubber meeting the road for a change. I want to see some real smoke. I just gave you 3 names that are in the WBO, and not one of them have written the WBO and said they didn't want to be named a mandatory. Not one. Sean Porter, Virgil Ortiz, and Mikey Garcia are right there. All they got to do is raise your hand if you're sure. Bud just told you. Bud said in a recent interview, how can I duck anybody that's my mandatory? If Sean Porter want to fight, all he got to do is tell the WBO he want to fight. That's all he said. It's as simple as that, bro. It ain't really that complicated. I know Sean Porter, honestly, I know he probably a little pissed off that he in the WBO rankings. You know what I'm saying? I know he a little pissed off, man. Real spill, man. Yes, sir. Absolutely. All day, all day, all day, all day, all day, all day. And live, what's up? Spence said 60-40 when he did that little interview. But once he said 70-30, I knew right then and there Spence ain't want no parts of Crawford. No, that push, all he did with that 70-30 was tell people who are really paying attention, I ain't ready yet. And I'm not saying he's scared, because a lot of y'all like to say he's scared. I'm not saying he's scared. He's being told by whoever's telling him, not yet. It ain't time yet. We'll let you know when it's time to pull that trigger. When you know it's time, you're going to see a promoter come out talking about this fight. You're going to see Leonard Ellaby coming out talking about this fight. Or whatever promoter is going to be assigned to Earl. You won't see Earl saying much. You're going to see Earl maybe saying like, all right, I'm down, let's talk, or something like that. But you're going to see a promoter comes out and constantly talking about this fight. That's when we know we're getting close. You got to remember, that's how PBC moves. PBC doesn't move. When you know that they're ready to go, they assign their fighter a promoter. You know what I mean? That's just like in Deontay Wilder's case with Tyson Fury or whoever. The way we know that they're going to be ready to go is whenever whoever's promoting Deontay Wilder comes out and starts talking. It used to be Lou DiBella. We don't know who it is now. It's been Leonard Ellaby. It's been a couple other cats. You know what I'm saying? So whoever they assign as his promoter, when they come out and start talking, you know it's real talk. You know what I'm saying? Real spill. I'm about to get up out of here, fam. I'm about to get up out of here. Man, had a great time with y'all today, man. I would love to hear Crawford say, send the contract. I've heard him say more than that, bro. I've heard him say more than that. I've heard him say, I've done everything that y'all have asked me to do. I've checked every box you've asked me to check, from get a belt to fighting this person to fight that person. I did it all. I popped up at your fight. I've done it all. I came to your hometown. Take your mind. Hold on now. When Errol Spence Jr. had that fight, that wasn't just any ordinary fight. That was a fight in his backyard. That means Crawford walked up in that thing on bended bees. Walked up in that joint with him and his little crew. You did. Kicking up all kind of dust, walking through the crowd. I'm up in Texas. And you can't even come say what's up to me. Damn. Damn. Instead, you turn and look the other way and say what's up to Canelo. But y'all want to, but I don't understand this. That man looking at you and you looking at Canelo. That's like, I can just picture Terence Crawford like looking at Earl right dead in the face, and Earl got his head turned this way. And you got Crawford standing right here just staring at the back of his head like, what's up? He don't even acknowledge the man. What are you doing here? What is he doing here? I can't believe he came here. Why does he come? I would never come to his fights. Unbelievable. Why? What is he doing here? Why is he taking my spotlight? Why? That's the problem with Spence Nation. That's the problem. Y'all let him get away with everything. But when Keith was doing it, y'all had a major problem. I hope Keith, man, you know what, Keith, you need to get back on your feet, Keith. You need to put the ravioli down, Keith, and get your ass in the gym and get to work, bro. Because you got a date with this dude. This dude walking in your career now. He took your career from you and doing exactly what you were doing. You need to go back and take your stuff back, Keith. You know what I'm saying? Either way, neither one of y'all wanted to fight Bud, so maybe it's like one of them being the champion. It's like the same one. It's like the same person. It's like a doppelganger around this son bitch. Much love to the fam. I'm out of here. Thumbs up on the way out. If you did not hit it on the way in, I catch up with y'all real soon. I wanted to do this because last night's live stream was chopped up because the mic went in and out on me, man. So I hope I got some of the points across. For those who came in late, if you go back to the beginning of this stream, we covered pretty much a lot of the things we covered last night. The Canelo Alvarez situation, the Devin Haney situation, and the Ryan Garcia situation. So it is what it is. Enjoy the rest of y'all holidays, man. Stay safe out there, man. Give some love, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the holiday cheer. Show some holiday love out here. You know what I mean? Help somebody. You know what I'm saying? Do something right for somebody. Sometimes a little small thing can go a real long way for a lot of folks, man. Much love to all of y'all. Thumbs up on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. Salute to all of the fam. I catch up with y'all real soon and until the next